Hello, good morning. We are team number 4, composed by Mónica Garcia, Miguel Ángel Flores, Aaron Horta, Laura Rodriguez, Karen Lira, and myself, Marcela Muñiz. And we are going to present the topic of viruses. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Viruses. What are those? Viruses are the smallest biological particle. The tiniest are only 20 nanometers in diameter. They are not biological organisms, so they are not classified in any kingdom of living things. They do not have any organelles and cannot respire or perform metabolic functions, are merely strands of DNA or RNA surrounded by a protective protein coat called a caspid. Only come to life when they have imbibed a cell. Outside of a host cell, viruses are completely inert.
Viruses. How are they classified? These were not placed under the Five Kingdom classification since they are neither living nor dead. Hence, they form their own group. Viruses are devoid of cell and cells organelles. Therefore, they depend upon the machinery of the host cell to replicate and synthesize proteins. Viruses are usually smaller than bacteria in size. The first virus to be discovered was the tobacco mosaic virus, TMV, that infects the tobacco plant.
Viruses are mainly classified by phenotypic characteristics such as morphology, nucleic acid type, mode of replication, host organisms, and the type of disease they cause. The formal taxonomic classification of viruses is the responsibility of the International Committee on Taxonomy of Viruses system. Although the tumor classification system can be used to place viruses into one of 7 groups based on their manner of mRNA synthesis. Specific naming conventions and further classification guidelines are set out by the ICTV.
The Baltimore classification was first defined in 1971. It is a classification system that places viruses into one of 7 groups depending on a combination of their nucleic acid, DNA, or RNA, strandedness, single-stranded or double-stranded, sense, and method of replication.
Viruses are mainly classified by phenotypic characteristics such as morphology, nucleic acid type, mode of replication, host organisms, and the type of disease they cause. Here we can observe these groups in order according to the aforementioned. In total, there are 7. And for example, in the first one, we can observe adenoviruses, herpes viruses. In the fourth one, we have coronaviruses, picornaviruses. And finally, in the last one, we have epidenoviruses. Then we have the Holmes classification of viruses. The Holmes 1948 used Carl Linnaeus' system of binomial nomenclature to classify viruses into 3 groups under one order, virals. They are placed as follows. In the group number 1, we have Phagenae that attacks bacteria, and the number 2, we have Phytophagenae that attacks plants. And in the last one, the number 3, we have Zoophagenae that attacks animals.
RNA viruses. All viruses that have an RNA genome and that encode an RNA-dependent RNA polymerase are members of the kingdom Orthorhynaviridae, within the realm Riboviria. Group 3. Viruses possess double-stranded RNA genomes, as an example rotavirus. In Group 4, viruses possess positive-sense single-stranded RNA genomes. Many well-known viruses are found in this group, including the picornaviruses, SARS virus, yellow fever virus, and rubella virus. And in Group 5, viruses possess negative-sense single-stranded RNA genomes.
Viruses with a DNA genome, except for the DNA reverse transcribing viruses, are members of 3 of the 4 recognized viral realms: Diplotnaviria, Monotnaviria, and Veritnaviria. The domains Diplotnaviria and Veritnaviria consist of double-stranded DNA viruses. Other double-stranded DNA viruses are Incertae sedis. The domain Monotnaviria consists of single-stranded DNA viruses that generally encode a HUH in the nucleus. Other single-stranded DNA viruses are Incertae sedis. Group 1. Viruses possess double-stranded DNA. Viruses that
Thank you guys for your attention.